Hey, Reg, you shave your balls?
I do shave my balls.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
Today we're going to get into the debut album from Benny the Butcher called Tana Talk 3.
Yes.
It was released in 2018, around this time of that year. It's released through Griselda Records and Black Soprano Family. The album was exclusively produced by The Alchemist and Deringer. Mm-hmm. It featured production, well, no, sorry, not production, but it featured guest appearances from Westside Gunn and Conway the Machine. Also had features from Royce da 5'9", Mayhem Lauren, Melanie Rutherford, Keisha Plum. And it kind of gave us this, it gave us a different look of Buffalo, New York. A lot of people, I feel, if you're not in touch with that side of New York, like you're not really sure of what their sound is, right? And I think this album really gave us a scope of that. Tana Talk obviously is short for Montana Talk. Montana Ave is where Benny the Butcher grew up. Mm-hmm. It's an homage to where he grew up, of course. 14 tracks. How do we feel about this album?
This is a great album, and there's one thing that I think that's a formula for a great project is when you're an artist and you're from a city that's not a very well-known romanticized city, mm-hmm. you have the opportunity to romanticize that city and make people see it in a different way.
That's a good point.
What he did was basically was like, yo, it's not just New York City, it's all of New York. That's mm-hmm. why like he got that verse like, I'm from New York, no biggie. Like, you know, and it's obviously that's a good double entendre because, you know, he's like, yo, I'm from Buffalo, New York. Yeah. It's not a big deal.
Like, I'm not from where y'all usually hear about.
Right? So I thought that was just really brilliant because it made people interested in Buffalo, New York, right? Mm-hmm. And they all have chips on their shoulders. They have interviews where they talk about being from New York, but basically not being respected like they're from New York because they're from upstate New York. It's kind of, but it's funny because people do the same thing to niggas from Long Island, but some of the greatest rappers of all time are from Long Island. Rakim, Public Enemy, mm-hmm. Chuck D is from Long Island. Mm-hmm. Busta Rhymes is from Long Island. The Funkmaster Flex, the DJ, is from Long Island, like, right?
Busta claimed Brooklyn, though, don't he?
He claimed Brooklyn,
but he went to school in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he went to school in Brooklyn, but he goes back and forth. A lot of Long Island people do that because they be back and forth. But like mm-hmm. Busta, like leaders of the new school, they earn their bones in Long Island, right? So, this project just really stood out to me because, like, Griselda was like bubbling, and I think like the first person that told me about Griselda was Danny, mm-hmm. because of Westside Gunn and Conway. And I liked the both of them, but when Benny came out, Benny spoke to me. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was just like, okay, cool. I like what Benny's doing. It's kind of like family oriented, like they all like related in some kind of way, right? Mm-hmm. So when I was hearing this project, I was just like, yo, this shit is amazing. Like it's giving me like that mid '96 vibes of what rappers was doing. So like pretty much from 94, between like 94 and like 97, because like, you know, 97 the Shiny Suit era came, mm-hmm. but that little pocket was this kind of rap, and I think that he embodies that, and that's kind of, I'm an old, y'all know listeners, I'm an old school rap nigga. I like that shit, and Benny the Butcher's in that pocket, and that's what he gave it.
He's really reminiscent of that time, of a real special time in hip hop, and I think that's why a lot of our people that are our age gravitated toward this sound and Griselda's sound in general. I think what he did with this album was really special. I think actually this album was the first time that I was really in tune with Benny the Butcher. Like first, mm-hmm. I heard Westside Gunn first. But I wasn't fully captivated by Benny until this album, mm-hmm. and what he was doing, and his voice is so captivating.
Right.
Like Conway already, I feel like Conway is still like the better rapper.
He's the best of the three.
He is the best. Westside kind of balances them out with like the silly type vibe, but like he gives you.
He's Bobby Heenan.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So like he gives you like a whole different feel than them, and I think you need that for them to be as balanced as they are. And with where Griselda is now, this album is kind of a testament to the start of them. Like it kind of put them in the direction that they're going in now. This fully encapsulates what we get from Griselda, and it's been 3 years later. Like this is like the definitive Griselda album, I think.
I do too. So there's two fun facts about this project. So the first fun fact is it only took him 2 weeks to record this project. The other fun fact is that it was his first time meeting Alchemist, and so it's 3. It was Benny's first time ever going to LA when they were because he went for the sessions of Westside Gunn recording the Hitler Wears Hermes 5. I mean 6. I'm sorry, Hitler Wears Hermes 6. So when he went to that, he started recording with Alchemist, and then they started putting songs to the side. So then that's how we got this project. So like that's like the legend of it, because like basically for them, when they go on sessions, they finish their projects within like a week's time. They don't take like a long period of time to record their projects, and that's why like their projects are kind of like capsules, because it's literally what's going on. Compared to some artists, they might record an album over 2 years. So I actually think that's why like their projects are kind of like more cohesive and actually like work for like what they're doing, because they kind of like give like things on what's going on with the projects.
And they're also very like you said, they're related in some way. They're very family oriented. I mean, even down to the intro. The intro is named after his mother Babs. The cover is a photo of his brother that passed. It's a painting of his brother that passed. So like it's all very family oriented, and I think when they came at a time in hip hop that we weren't seeing that as much. Like we had Migos obviously, but we didn't see it like this on the street level. So this was refreshing to see.
Yep.
Yeah. So we want to get into the album. All right. So like I already spoke on the intro. Intro kind of touches on like what the album is gonna offer us, but then we lead into Good Night.
Hold on 1 second about the intro. I wanted to make this point because it's like it sucks because they have this chip on their shoulder, right? Because Buffalo is not recognized.
Yeah.
But Buffalo ain't do nothing to help these niggas out. And I have my reasons. Number one, they went to the Super Bowl 4 times, lost 4 years in a row. And then their football team sucks. Right? So that's one thing that's why people don't give a fuck about Buffalo, right? Number 2, Rick James is from Buffalo. And I get it that like people knew he was from Buffalo, but people don't know he's from Buffalo.
Nah, they don't.
Like, people don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just was like, yo, like, I feel like Rick James should have did more. I get it. He was in jail for a lot of the 90s, probably when he wouldn't be able to do that, maybe. Like, while he had downtime just collecting checks off MC Hammer sampling his music. Because that's, like, when he made a lot of his money from his songs being sampled so much. But, I just think, like, that sucks. And, it is nobody's fault.
I think singers in general though, they don't rep their city and where they from how rappers do. I mean, rappers make it like damn near part of their personality.
I feel like we have some artists that do it, but it's rare, right? New Edition does it really well. Yeah. Right? Let me think of some other people. A lot of the neo-soul artists that are from Philly, Music Soul Child, Jill Scott, The Roots, even though The Roots is a hip-hop band, but like they did it, right? So, I mean, we have some artists that do it. I mean, shit, Chris Brown, like he kept letting us know he's from Virginia, and so did Trey Songz. But I guess because they're from hip-hop. Yeah. Right? So, like, that's it. That's natural in them. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like Rick, like, I mean, everybody knows the Jacksons are from Gary, Indiana, even though nothing about them is Gary, Indiana.
That's true. They didn't I think that's just part of the Jacksons being superstars and everybody wanting to know everything about them. Yeah. Because I never hear Janet be like throwing it up
because she ain't really grow up in Gary like the brothers did. Yeah. But Janet's a little different. Janet like left Gary when she was 10.
True.
Right? I'm just saying. So I get like that's, but like really like my beef with that is like, all right, cool. People don't acknowledge Buffalo, but like Rick James, that like be mad at Rick James. Don't be mad at us.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if Rick James would have been out here screaming out Buffalo or made an ode to Buffalo.
But they build on that chip because that's kind of what makes them great too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, yo, nobody's talking about this, so we got to put on. You know, it's like Nelly in St. Louis.
Yeah, and the one other thing is that I want to say, obviously, the intro is like an ode to Buffalo. But like he pretty much like also like gives us like the rundown of like the guys in the crew, and he raps about Conway having Bell's palsy, and basically saying like he's like this nigga was a miracle, like because when he got shot they said like he's gonna be paralyzed and like all of this shit.
Yeah.
And then basically like he defied the odds and this nigga was able to walk again. They said like you're not gonna walk again, and he was able to do that. So I just think that's like a dope thing, like because Conway is like a walking miracle.
Yeah, he is, and he's still like dead nice. Do we know how long ago he was shot?
I don't. I did. I'm sorry.
Because he was rapping, but he was rapping before that though.
He was rapping before that because he would come down to like battle niggas, and they said he would always like win his rap battles and shit like that, battle niggas in the street. Because like, I forgot who the fuck. Yo, it's a rapper that Benny the Butcher was mad close with from New York City, and like he's in their video and all that shit. And I can't think of the artist, and I'm mad at myself for not doing the proper research. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I failed y'all because I know y'all probably know what artist it is. I'm gonna think about it though. It's gonna come back to me, but. Yeah, Benny's been around for a minute because you know Benny's older than us. Benny's 30, just turned 37. So. Happy birthday, Benny.
Yeah, Benny's been around for a minute. We'll get into Good Night, and I didn't want to go track for track, but I did, of course, just want to focus on some highlights on this. So Good Night is a highlight for me. It's produced by Deringer. I love how he started this verse like, I stole a pack, then I sold it back. Like, it made me think of Hove.
Absolutely.
It made me think of Hove, and it's certain drug raps that I think of people in rap. Like, so I think about Hove when I hear this because obviously, you know, the 92 bricks and, you know, Hove's whole history. And I like when Hove talks about like the new people in rap, and I can only imagine like how he felt when he heard this. Oh
man, of course, like, and you could tell that he's cut from that cloth. What I want to talk about is the Busta Rhymes sample in there. That shit.
Yeah.
That shit was a pleasant surprise. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah,
I didn't expect that at all. But I did see his name in the credits before I was listening to the song, and I was like, Busta Rhymes is on this, but it was only for the sample.
I liked it. I fucked with it.
Yeah. What else is on here that we fuck with? Well, Scarface versus Sosa Part 2.
Yeah, so like Scarface versus Sosa Part 2 is the sequel to the original version, right? And that original version had Conway on it. I really think that what he was doing on the project is pretty much, on this song, is giving like the perspective from the film.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas like it's Tony versus Sosa, like the supplier, but basically Tony came up, and I just like how pretty much each song is kind of like conceptual, but it's him basically telling stories like of his block, like of his surroundings and stuff like that.
It puts him in a different puts him in a different mindset, and like he can kind of build off of that. I fuck with that. Let's see here. Well, Fast Eddie, is my shit. Did you have something on Rubber Bands and Weight that you want to share?
Nah, we can go wherever you want to go.
Yeah, Fast Eddie is produced by Deringer. I like this one a lot. I think this one is one of my top 3 on this album.
So I'm going to attempt to read this little stanza that he rapped that I thought was so perfect, because basically he starts out rapping about Benihana's, right? He says, "Ate at Benihana's and never ordered off the menus. Let's go. You not connected, then you never spoke to me probably. I'm riding in the Ghost, but I'm smoking Ferrari. He said if I buy the TEC, he gonna throw in the shotty. Cooking while you looking. If you broke or you slow, that's hibachi." So the fact that like he started it out talking about Benihana's, right? And then to bring it all the way back to the metaphor of talking about hibachi at the end was fire to me. Because I'm just like, yo, like that's technical.
That's focused rapping.
Yes.
Yeah, it's focused.
So like I appreciate that shit. So I'm like, oh man, like, you know what I'm saying? And basically like he like this song is solely for niggas that he don't fuck with. Like he's basically like, yo, like I imagine that Fast Eddie is some like Ikey Love type nigga like in Belly that he don't fuck with. And like he's basically, these raps is for him. Like, nigga, this is what we do and you a fucking bum. That's what I think about when I hear this record.
Yeah, it's
Shave your balls.
I do shave my balls.
What product do you use?
I use Manscaped, especially the Lawnmower Trimmer 4.0.
Wow, I need to check that out.
I think you should. And with our code, Rapping Order 20, you can get 20% off.
Wow, Reg, thanks for that. My girl's gonna be so happy.
Smooth as eggs.
Record.
yeah, it's such a focus hip hop song. Like I fuck with that so much.
Who do you think had better production on the album? Do you think Alchemist or Derringer had better production?
You know, I love Alchemist, but there is a lot. When I first heard Fast Eddie, I thought it was Alchemist, but it's actually Derringer. So like, I think their styles clash here in like the best way. Cause
it does, but
yeah.
I think Derringer got it.
I think so too, because a lot of the shit that I really like on here that I thought was Alchemist was him.
Let's see. Outside of Fast Eddie, okay. Well, I'll say this much. Echo Long with Westside Gunn and Mayhem Lauren is my least favorite song on the album.
Yeah,
That's very much a low point. I don't like it, but I'm also not big on Westside. And Mayhem Lauren, I can do without. Like I feel like Mayhem Lauren is just like a poor man's version of street rappers. All of them.
fucking Westside comes in. Hey yo, I had a nigga cook my motherfucking dinner. It's like, all right, bro.
Yeah, like it's like he's so
I love that shit.
Yeah,
though.
he's so animated and so over the top. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm good, you know.
Yeah, but he's needed for those times. That's why I see why he fits though, because he's there to kind of break up the tense moments. Like like because you get so many of those moments with between Benny and Conway, that you kind of need somebody to just cut through that sometimes.
That's true too.
Yeah, but he probably has the best sequenced albums out of all of them though.
Yeah, he does.
His albums are so well sequenced.
He's the he really is Bobby the Brain Heenan. He really is the mastermind. He really puts things together in a perspective where I'm just like, all right, like he absolutely bodied this shit, like what he's doing. So like I think like him, like when he's saying like I'm gonna retire from rap, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna like run plays. I understand why he's saying it, but I think that his fan base is so big that they won't allow him to.
I also think it's a temperature check. He's just trying to see how people feel about that.
Yeah.
But
okay. I want to talk about. Hold on. I think I know where you're going, but I want to talk about Joe Pesci 38.
Okay.
Joe Pesci 38, like if people don't understand, it's a reference to the movie Goodfellas. Joe Pesci in the movie, the character that Joe Pesci plays, he loved using a 38 caliber gun to kill niggas. Yeah. So the fact that like he made a rap about that, right? And you gotta understand, like basically what he's saying is I'm fucking wilding on niggas. Like that's what he means. Like I'm blacking on niggas. I am Tommy from Goodfellas, and ain't shit you could do about it. I'm like, you're dead. Funny how?
Wow,
you think I'm funny? Like it's like that.
And then I just hate that he had to explain it at the end. Yeah. Because niggas, if you first, you know it from the title. You know, if you in tune with this type of shit, you know it from the title. And I hated that at the end he had to be like, yeah, this is the same gun from Goodfellas. This is my Joe Pesci 38. My Joe, like I was like, all right, yeah, you didn't have to say that. You know,
he from Buffalo. He don't know better.
Yeah, it takes away the good feel of it for me. You know.
Yeah, he from Buffalo, man. He ain't know no better.
It could have been one of those if you know type things.
Right.
But let's circle back around to 97 Hove. 97 Hove is produced by Alchemist and Derringer. This, I believe, when we first started doing Free Lunch, this was on there.
Yeah.
Because this was like one of the first songs I really like. My ears perked up for Benny the Butcher because it's all in the title too. It's like, ooh,
the title
okay,
makes anybody. I feel like the title.
Yeah, 97 Hoves. That was in my lifetime. So like, that was it. You got me. You got me. So like, you know,
but don't forget Streets is watching as well.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, so that was all around that time. But how did you feel about it overall?
And in an alternate universe, Jay-Z has a verse to this song.
Oh yeah.
I feel that like he understood the assignment when he did this song, and I think this is why like Jay-Z like a part of the reason why Jay-Z was going so crazy for them and trying to like see like what he could do to help them.
Hove goes, I feel like Hove goes crazy for anybody that brings him back to that element of rap because he's so far removed from it that like it's nice to reminisce on. So like that was the only. Yeah. it's something like that was the only reason, and he's done countless interviews as to how he was inspired to even do American Gangster, because he's been wanting to tap into that magic of Reasonable Doubt again.
Right.
So just seeing shit like this that lets him tap into it is always
that shit.
great.
And I think it's pretty poetic because I think that Jay-Z's career has been so long that some people forget that, like, you know, the era that he kind of like made, like pretty much started his run really did start in 97 if we being like technical. Biggie passed away, like he had to like pretty much like it was open season to see who was going to be the king of New York, right?
The pressure was real.
And this is like right before this is like right before DMX. So like Jay-Z kind of like had to like come out and like do something, right? This is 97. So he puts out Volume 1. Volume 1 don't hit like it should, even though it has some good. It had Where I'm From on there.
Yeah,
people don't even realize that.
Yeah,
right, because they know that Streets is Watching came out, and then like they went on that crazy tour in '98 and everything. But like 97 Hove is actually like a real, to me, is like a real thing, like, and something that I might think of something I'm going to do, because I really feel like 97 Hove like start. I know everybody said Reasonable Doubt is my favorite rap album by Jay-Z, but Hove in 97 was like really pushing it to like where he's at now, and we'll have to revisit that, because like it's kind of like Jay was stopping all of the street shit because like he was like, all right, I gotta go to legit. And he was smart enough to understand that. So that's why I think this song is also significant, because I think that Benny understands that, like, yo, I'm making music, but I'm still out here, like, doing this shit, like, running these streets, like, doing that. So it's really, really, really clever what you did, Benny.
Yeah.
You're a huge student of Hove, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you're out here.
Never anything wrong with that.
Making 97 Hove is a classic song.
Yeah. I'd agree. I'd agree with that. And it does, and it raises the stakes for the rest of this album.
Who are you?
Yeah, I was getting to that.
Why did Royce do that to him?
Somebody had to do it.
Nah, man. That was brutal.
Royce in this type of element is dangerous. And he kicks it off too, which is the funny thing.
Like, how do you follow that? Like, I feel like Royce was like, "Here, man, I'd love to get on a song with you," and then he does that, and it's like, how do you follow this shit?
Royce is a problem, and not for nothing, they have great chemistry.
Yeah, they do. It's just that nickel, people forget, like Royce spars with Eminem, somebody who pronounces every syllable in the word that he says, studies every single thing that he raps, and is just like, I feel like Eminem is like the Kurt Angle of fucking rap, where this nigga is just technical and like technically sound, right?
That's an excellent comparison. I think regardless of how people feel about Eminem, like his technicality and his rap skill is so good that it's like, yo, it's just like
he understands
the content.
The English language.
The content is just boring. It's just like, yo, I can't listen to the content. I forget who it was. I think it was Tyler talking about Eminem. Like, yo, like he's just so annoyingly good that it's like, yo, like, I don't even care what you're talking about, but it's good. It's good rap, you know, the technical point of it. Yeah. But Royce bodies him on this.
Absolutely. Let's see. Another one. All right, so let's talk about Rick.
Oof. Yeah.
Rick, it opens like a fucking James Bond film. I love the way that song kicks off, right? And the song is obviously dedicated to Buffalo Motown legend Rick motherfucking James, bitch.
Motherfucking James.
And I just think that it's so cool that Rick James is like the hero of their town. Yeah. Like, you know, like obviously you got Rick James and you got O.J. Simpson. Right? And obviously black people still fuck with OJ, so it's nothing like to be ashamed of. But OJ don't go back to fucking Buffalo. No. Rick James
actually
he did. He went back home and everything like that. And he actually did a lot for the city. It's just that, you know, Rick James is not like how rappers are, like where they like go back home and like do shit, like, or it's publicized. Yeah. But like Rick, you know, like in his documentary, like Conway is in the documentary and he's, you know, talking about what Rick James did
and that impact and how it was. I think Rick James is just one of those people that became bigger than where he's from, to where you don't even associate it with where he's from. He don't come to town and it's like, Buffalo Zone,
Nah.
you know, it's just no. That's Rick James. Like
Yeah.
he's his own entity. He's so big of a star that like where he's from doesn't even matter.
Rick James, bitch.
But yeah, no, this is one of those beats that puts Duranger ahead of Alchemist on this album, for sure, because this shit is just magical.
Okay, Langfield is also Langfield is also a standout track to me because that one is dedicated to his deceased brother, right? What was his name? Machine Gun.
I believe it was Black.
Machine Gun Black.
Yeah.
Right. So the song is dedicated to his brother Machine Gun Black, and it's a really it's really like it's sad because Benny's talking directly to his brother. It's like an open letter to his brother who passed away.
Yeah.
And like, you know, he's just getting off his chest what he got to say and everything like that. And it just sucks because Benny wouldn't be rapping if it wasn't for his brother. And apparently like his brother was dead nice as well. So, you know, it's kind of like a bittersweet moment where like, you know, he's just getting some stuff off and basically like telling his brother like, yo, I'm here, like we did it. I'm a rep to the death of me. So you know, definitely
That's
stand out to me.
It seems cliche for rappers to do, but that's such a big like necessary moment for a rapper to do for themselves, like just to get to where you were expecting yourself to get, or where you set the expectation with somebody that you love and then you lose them, and then you got there and you don't have that person to like break bread with like how you planned. It's just that's wild, man. And it happens too much in rap. Yeah,
all the time, man. Actually. But yeah, that was like another standout song for me. So far, like the only song that I couldn't get jiggy with is Echo Lounge.
Is Echo?
Yeah. Like,
okay. And how we feel about the closer, All 70?
Okay.
It features Conway.
So I gotta explain this in a way that makes sense, right? So it's a very Buffalo sounding song, and when I say that, if people have like visit Buffalo, I actually have relatives that live in Buffalo. I haven't seen them in years, but Buffalo is like a rock and roll town. Like it's a very musical city, believe it or not, right? So it kind of feels like a mix between what's the boss's name? Bruce Springsteen, of like with his rock and roll mixed with like folk music, right?
Okay.
So when I hear this song, I'm like, oh shit! Like this actually sounds like the city, because Buffalo is also an industrial city, hard hat town, and like rock and roll is like one of the bases of their music, right? And the folk is the reason why the folk is entered in is because people from Canada love folk music, so it's something that's brought down into that city as well. But when I hear like the riffs, I'm like, oh shit, this kind of sound like the town.
Yeah,
So I thought that was really dope that Benny picked this beat, or like, you know, that the Ranger told him like, we're gonna do this beat. Like, you know, that was like some homegrown shit. Alchemist couldn't have gave him this beat. It had to be Derringer. Like, I thought that was dope.
It's an insane beat, and I think it perfectly closes this album. I think with a beat like this, like and even going through it, like revisiting it today, I'm like, damn, this album is sequenced really well. Like for it to end on this note, and the note that it started on with like his mom, and then like you had to have a song dedicated to his brother, and then ended off with the Buffalo sound, like chef's kiss. I think it ended off really well.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, I was curious about your rating, but what was you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, I just want to circle back to what I said at the beginning of the episode. When rappers make albums that are odes to their hometown, and it's a city that we're not familiar with, it is a no-brainer on that project being hailed or beloved, because it gives you lenses into the city that like you've never been to. Like, you know, like if someone, like, I would love to hear from a rapper from Montana or some shit like that. Like, just to know what it's like out there, because I know there's some hood shit going on out there, but I don't know, right? So me being a New Yorker, I don't even think outside of fucking New York City. When people tell me they from like places like Albany, New York, I'll be like, okay, nigga, like, and like, but then when somebody like tells me what's going on up there, I'm like,
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
you know, like it's one of those things where it's like it's like you're learning something, but it's like always like forgotten. Shit, I don't give a fuck about people from Long Island sometimes, but like then people tell me like, nah, it's real out here, you know, and I'm like, oh, my bad, like I gotta listen, right?
Everywhere has a story, like big or small, and like you know, like you said, these artists have a chance to like really stunt because they have a chance, they have the leeway to tell their story because it hasn't been told.
Right. So, as far as my rating, this album is a classic. The reason why I rate this album as a classic is because of what it did. It was highly anticipated. When it came out, it delivered. Everyone talks about it. It's one of his. It's some of the best lyrical raps that we've gotten. The production is fucking flawless. The crazy thing is like the production ain't bad. The reason why I just don't like Echo Lounge is because of, like, I just didn't like the content that he was rapping about. The production is fucking flawless. There's only one bad song on the album, and I'm not even gonna say I don't need it. It's just that like it's my least favorite song on the project.
Yeah.
The album cover is iconic. I think that's also important. I think obviously we know when you put a kid on the cover. You know.
Yeah, that's kind of just been.
That's a good fucking formula too. Like I just feel like this album has all the elements of a classic, and this is why I can say that this one gets 5 out of 5 waffles. Fucking 5.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna give it. Okay, I see why you gave it a 5 because it set the tone for this group that we all love. And they all took off with it. So it's the foundation in a lot of ways.
Right.
I'm feeling like a 4.5 though.
You motherfucker.
I'm feeling like a 4.5. I don't know what it is with this album. Maybe it's because Griselda.
I think it's because it's too soon for you.
You think so? Yeah, I mean, it is 2018.
I feel like we just swap places also because usually I am very stingy with my waffles. But
it is
not this one.
It is 2018. And if I could think back, and maybe I'll have to think back and see how I feel about albums from that time period. But for this is definitely I'm feeling a strong 4.5 on this out of 5.
Okay, so I mean, I guess that just evens it out to a 4.5 now because you ruined my perfect rating I gave the album.
Yeah. But no, nonetheless, this is an amazing album. It has so many gems on it, and it's essential for any fan that's trying to get into Griselda's music.
Okay, I agree with that. Take us home.
All right, so I have been First Class Regg.
I am Taurian Blakeney.
And we are out of here.
See you guys next time.